Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I do pike. I don't know how you do pike, so comment on how you do pike. I'm going to apologize because it's very small, but that's what we caught tonight. So I do pike. Wow, we whacked him on the head. I do a cut down here and then come up in front of here, so we'll see that in a second. Should have a glove so they don't slide away on me. Just till I get down to the backbone, turn my knife, go along the backbone, and then come up in front of there. So, put this over here for now. You can just feel the backbone a bit. And then, just behind his fin here, pretty much right about there, I go down to the backbone again. Do yourself a favor and sharpen your knife. There we go. There's not much meat on this little guy. Shouldn't have kept him really, but. And then just go right down the backbone to about there. Yeah, we're gonna have, this is gonna be our snack fish. Same thing on this side. Clean here. Turn the knife down along the backbone. Tail steaks. I've seen some people leave them attached to the fish to make it easier to get the skin off. We'll do that in a minute. So, Y bones. Nobody likes Y bones. I mean, he's a bleeder. Maybe somebody whacked it with the paddle too hard. So, if you go down, you'll feel there's no bones this way, but if you go along that way, let's see if we can lift them up with the knife. Hear them?
Yeah.
Alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my knife in just behind those Y bones. First I'm going to cut them on the side here now. So that's all 3 of them. It's going to make a little mess. You can just see the inside. Ah, now, look at the bones here coming down over the top. See them? So, take the knife, and since they come out in a Y sort of fashion, when you find the tip, you can just go in like this. So you go underneath the Y bones towards the ribs. This is a terribly small fish. Makes it a good study though. And just use your finger to make sure that you're getting them out of your meat, because nobody likes eating Y bones. You can even pull them up to the side now so you don't waste your meat. Just ride along the edge of them, and then you'll get down to the ribs. You'll know when you hit the ribs easy enough. And just take your fingers start separating it from the rib cage. You can always do your little... I've seen people not use this part of the fish. Seems like a waste to me. So what I do, just go in through there, get underneath those Y bones. There's his ribs. I guess I don't really want his butthole in it though, but whatevs. Much to grab onto on the little guys. Some more bones there you can hear. And you just want to take this, see the ribs there? So your Y bones come off the rib and they're right there. I'm not the world's fastest guy at this, but that's okay. I do this for the deliciousness, not the crazy goodness of it. Same thing up here. Just want to separate the meat from the ribs. a nice sharp knife. Mine is not overly. This is going to be some sad little fish. This might be breakfast fish. There, and if you're good, you can even do that without spilling too much guts or anything. Little scales off there, they make it a little hard to cut. Get around those fins because they get all kinds of stuff you don't want or need in them. Now if this was a big fish, I'd be getting all kinds of meat off of it, but I'm not. So, picture this about that wide and that long on a proper sized one. And I'll just do the same thing on this side so you can see it. Again, you feel for your Y bones, you can see them right there. So you're going to go in, this actually might be a better view. Underneath those Y bones, don't worry about wasting that little bit of meat. And like I say, use your fingers to make sure you're on the proper side of them. Which I wasn't on that section. This really is a small little fish.
Yeah.
There's a couple right there. There we go. And once he starts going, you'll notice they peel pretty good. You can ask my wife, she seems to have been enjoying them.
They're delicious.
How do you like them, Barbara?
They're delicious.
Yes, but how do you like them prepared?
Oh, with fish crisp. Fried in fish crisp. And on sourdough as fish sandwiches.
That's pretty good.
With tartar sauce.
There is quite a bit of bones here, so that's why guys are going to right there with them. Seems like a shame to me, but some people don't even eat these fish, so I guess we're a step ahead of them.
Oops.
Oops, what?
Wasn't exactly where you were doing stuff.
Sorry. It's the same thing, I just cut them down to the rib cage. We got them pretty much all the way there. Yep. Is that a bone? I don't know what that is. Don't want that in my delicious dinner. Right down his little ribs. This is the smallest one out of the bunch, I think.
They're not wormy or anything.
Oh no.
Was this you said this was the smallest one?
I'm going to say that on video. I have caught bigger, but this was what we came home with this time.
We needed fish. Well.
Can you see the ribs like coming in?
Oh, yep.
Just keep taking the meat off the rib cage. I know I struggled for the longest time with these stupid fish. And I say stupid fish just based on the fact I wasn't getting meat off them properly. I tried the whole, just fillet them on one side. Cut its butthole, that's way back there, don't have to worry about that. Yeah, to do a fillet on one side, and that didn't go well.
But you still got
Same
his
thing, we got
fin.
his fins there. So. On a bigger fish, there's enough meat there, you can just cut the fins out, but yeah, we'll just slice them this way. So there's the meat.
Oh, jeez, that's not a lot.
I didn't see you catch any, did I?
No, my fishing rod broke.
And how did your fishing rod break?
It got stuck and I pulled on it too hard while the boat was moving.
Now here's
behind
a
me.
neat trick my brother-in-law showed me.
What are you doing?
I won't rinse it all off when we're done, but it's pretty scaly. So what he does, because it's super slimy, like they call them snot rockets for a reason. When you're going to lose a tiny little piece of meat, I'll put it on the edge here because it's easier to get at. Keep in mind, a bigger fish, this is all going to be easier and better looking. Just hang on to it with that fork. You don't need to move the knife too much. It should slice right off like that. This is the best part, I think, too. Up by the tail, so you got a boneless, skinless piece of deliciousness.
Yum.
So there's one piece. Where am I going to put these?
On a plate? On a plate or something?
I'll put them in the sink in a minute, but...
You can get a plate, that's fine.
Yeah, my wife's volunteering to do dishes. Let's pile this up here while I rinse it off, put it in the fridge. So, there's your skin, comes off.
Goes in the garbage.
Grab another one. Same thing, bring it to the edge of your board because you're going to be, you don't want to bang your hands into there. And the fork keeps it all nice and steady. And you just cut down until you hit the skin and turn your knife sideways. I kind of push it flat against the board too so that the knife kind of deflects like that. There's another one. Rinse all the scales and stuff off there in a bit. Piece of skin. The back piece, I'll show you that now because that's a little different. You might find there's little bits of backbone in there, but there shouldn't be Y bone. So what I do, I just take my knife, just run a little V underneath that little channel that you see where the backbone was. And when I first moved here, I thought these were worms. Isn't that hilarious? Those are blood vessels. Okay, there's one here that when you squeeze it, the blood comes out. Well, I need room again, please.
Sorry.
It's the same thing. This does two things. One, it gets that little possibly bony chunk out, depending how you cut the backbone. And it's almost like when you're cleaning trout and you pull the Y bones out of those, because those I do fillet, and then just cut the bones out. But I say it's similar in the fact that once you've got it cut properly, which I might not yet here have done, you should be able to lift this all out in a strip.
And then you got 2 fish sticks left.
Oh yeah, and then you still gotta skin it. There, once it starts, you can just... Sometimes I've cut these where I don't get the bone in the back like that, and sometimes I do. So I just, same thing with the Y bones, run your finger down, if you feel bones, cut it out. And I'm tempted to try and make fish sticks. Or not fish sticks, or what were we talking about? Fish cakes.
Oh, fish cakes, yeah.
Out of these guys.
But you have to pre-cook the fish.
Yeah, that's okay, because you gotta cook it to eat anyway, so it's nothing new.
We don't have a lot of mashed potato left, though.
Also true. But that's irrelevant to the making of this video. So that's got the little strip of bone stuff in it. So here's your back. So with that cut, that whole back fillet opens up as well. And I'm going to take my knife. This little bugger will stay still. Oh yeah, hear that? It's the sound of supper. Nice long slices. You've got a completely boneless, skinless meat.
Not much left of that poor fish.
No, I know.
But
I didn't say I was a good fisherman.
3 of them will be a meal.
Oh, yeah. Same thing here. Try keep some meat on.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of meat on the sides, eh?
No, he's only little. But he might be tasty.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I'm as amateur as it gets, so there's guys out there probably way better, but yeah. Boneless, skinless.
One more.
Another little fillet. And your fish crisp package isn't crazy when it tells you to soak them in milk maybe first. That does work good, I find. And then do them like shake and bake style. Nice hot frying pan. Some oil in it. That one I didn't push down hard enough and you can see what happened. Cast iron can't be beat. That's how I cook all my, pretty much everything. So, that's a pike with no bones, no skin, And a lot less cussing than I used to have too, the way I used to cut them. So toodles.